So y'all, I'm back with my next video. I want you to like, subscribe, and share my videos. This is Black Girls in Trouble. And today I want to talk about the guys in our neighborhoods. Remember how I told y'all in one of my other videos, go back and watch my other videos, that I'm from West Philadelphia, down the bottom, right? Down the bottom is a neighborhood. It's a section in Mantua. They called it the bottom. I'm actually from the underworld. The underworld is a section of the bottom. It's crazy. But I'll go into another video at another time and explain that. But I want to talk about our guy choices. I seen another video, and I'm not tagging nobody. I ain't really in all that. I don't really know how the internet works. So y'all gotta bear with me. But I will say this. I was thinking about a question that was asked on a thing about why us females are single, right? So he was like, oh, why are y'all baddies single? Or maybe people bad, maybe you're not bad. That's a whole nother thing about how people look. If they like attractive, not attractive, whatever the case may be, that's something different. I'm not even going to get into that because that's just something different. I'm just going to talk about the choice in men of black girls in low-income neighborhoods. Why do we always get a whole bunch of flack about who our children's father is, or who we're married to, who we're dating, or who we just messing around with? I say all that to say this. When I grew up in the 90s. I'm all looking like I'm trying to figure it out, but I know it was the 90s. But in the early 2000s. So I say all that to say this. I never was from the streets. Like I told you, I lived in the streets, but I was not from the streets. I was from the sidewalk. I'm always going to respect the sidewalks. I'm not no street girl. I am a street girl, meaning like I lived in the streets. I sat around on the streets, but I was not running around the streets. My mom was not having it. She was not letting me go nowhere. No, I was watching all the street stuff happen from off the sidewalk until she let me go outside. But that's another video. I'm going to write that down. Going outside, and actually how I got outside. I should put that in the next video. But anyway, the choice in men, and then y'all could comment, share, like my video, and subscribe to my channel. But I got a question. Are the men that we had to deal with, that's any woman in any, let's say, low income area, are the men that we dealt with our fault or like society's fault? They lived around us. If we in a low income neighborhood, that means he got to find a way to get some money. So if he got to find a way to get some money, how is he going to focus on a relationship and what it means to be in a relationship with a young woman? And then as a young woman, when they're trying to date you and they telling you cute and you know you cute and you start figuring out, like, you start growing up and doing all this different stuff to get the attention of the guys you like, and they're giving you attention or whatever have you. Some people was having sex and all that. I had sex, but not as a teenager. Well, it was, but later on. But we'll talk about that in another video. This video got to do with the choices that we had. A lot of the guys, they went to school like us and they were smart. Let's make sure we clear. Just because guys live in low-income neighborhoods does not mean they're not smart, does not mean they're not ambitious, does not mean all types of great things about these men. Let's just be clear. I'm just basically saying that the guys that we had to choose from, if you think about the social elements they had to go through, some of these guys was mom working all day. Some of these guys ain't got no mom. Some of these guys getting raised by their grandmom or a foster lady. I'm just talking about things that I know for a fact, and I'm not speaking nobody names, but that was happening down the bottom. So, and a lot of the time, like I said, when I was growing up, late 90s, early 2000s, mom was struggling with different type of life issues that women were going through at the time. We got substance abuse, we got physical abuse, got self-abuse, got all kinds of abuses in the hood. So back then about that attitude video, go back and check out my attitude video. So many of the elements that was going on in our lives, the attitude is going to reflect that. We're going to definitely reflect that, because one thing about us as black people, I think we the most loving, sweet people that you could ever be around. But we could be completely like the opposite. So back to those guys. These guys we got to deal with, they got all kinds of different angles in play. The guys that we dealing with, when they're getting let's say 14, 15, 16, when they're getting older in age, they're losing their friends. These guys' friends are dying. They're going to jail for different reasons, not because they specifically did a crime. They could have just made dumb decisions as a teenager. But our choice of men, they getting like, let's say, observed. I'm not going to go into this big social thing because I could do that, but that's a whole nother video. I'm going to just say, if you got people watching you for all the time to make sure you're obeying the rules as a young man, you need to get some money, and you definitely trying to enjoy yourself, and then you got to learn things. Then your influences are not really coming from this great family structure, because the way our families are set up are based on our income, and our income got based on our crimes. And because if you committing crime, you ain't making no money. So that means that the women that are being your mother and your grandmother, they don't have a lot of time to keep focusing on you as a young man growing up. And those young men are the ones we have to date. They're hitting us. They yelling at us. They ignoring us. They faking like they like us and playing us. They know who they are. And a lot of times it's not just to be harmful, because we're doing it back to them. Let's be clear. Us girls was going through the exact same thing. Some of us was wolves too. But I would just say that when they stronger than us and they spending after school hours and before school hours and in the summertime, like 85% of the time outside. So we're like raising ourselves because we're spending all the time outside learning how to engage with each other. We're not having a whole bunch of parental guidance because our neighborhood was watching us. And that's another video. Our neighborhood was watching us. But I'll say this. The kind of man that I ran into, as far as I never had a husband yet. But I ran into all kinds of great people. They just had so many different circumstances that sometimes it wasn't good for a full-out relationship. And sometimes when I was in a relationship with these people, it wasn't good because it's just too many factors that doesn't allow for a relationship, even though we are in love. But if you like, comment and share my video so I can get $5,000. Like, I'm just joking, but put it on.